I was asked by many people to do three people to do the Cancer primary sequence of Iyengar from the book of Iyengar Yoga for Cancer. So here it is. I am going to, the first pose in this sequence is Shavasana, but with a little bit opening in the chest. So according to Iyengar, for Cancer, you need to open the pits, the armpits, the leg pits, and have this opening to get the lymph working, in addition to relaxation. So we're going to do this Shavasana with 4 blankets. So you're going to, if you have the Mexican blankets, that's great. You're going to arrange a little steps. I'm folding it the way it lives anyway. Putting it in the middle of my mat. And then behind it, another folded blanket. The neat edge is towards the front of the mat, and there's a step here. Put a little step to support the lower back, not to create an arch in the lower back, but to support the natural arch in the lower back. Then behind this one, we're going to fold that blanket, the same blanket, so that it is twice the size, so it's exactly the size of the 2 blankets here. And I put that behind the blanket. So in principle, okay, I need a space for that. In principle, if it is neat, which is this height is 1 height, more or less. Okay, so we have 1 height here, so it can support our torso, and then 1 blanket for the head. So the total is 4 blankets for this arrangement. And this is like a pillow for the head. You can put the pillow anywhere you need it, depending on your torso. Then you're going to sit with your buttocks in front of this. So maybe 2 inches in front of this. So the lower back is going to be here. The sacrum is not supported by that contraption. It's not absolutely necessary. You can find just 1 blanket to support your back. So you're supporting the rib cage here on the blanket. And it's a very wide blanket, so it is also not bad for the shoulders. Later you can do, if you have the flexibility, you can do a bolster under your chest. But right now, this is actually one of the setups for pranayama. So I'm going to sit in front of this contraption about 2 inches, opening the chest first before I'm going to go down. I'm going to tuck my tailbone a little bit and come up, down on that. Then I adjust my head. And I'm going to straighten out through my legs, put myself in Supta Tadasana. Beginning with Supta Tadasana. In order to make sure that I'm centered, I'm going to support my head with my fingertips, look down, see that I am balanced in the center. I actually like to close one eyes and measure from my nose, but any method that you can do. And then you're just spreading your feet. You can spread your feet to the edges of the mat if you want to create a lot of space in the lower abdomen. And then very, very slowly you're going to put your head down. Only the head or the head and the neck are on the pillow. The shoulders are not. And then release your legs. Then you can put your hands, your arms are 45-degree angle from the body. Finger, first of all, forearm perpendicular to the floor, palms face your face. Press above the elbow, like where the triceps are. Press them into the floor to open the shoulders. And then release. Make sure triceps are facing down, biceps up, and then just let your hands come to the floor. Release your legs. Notice if this is comfortable for your lower back. Right now it's not so comfortable for my lower back, so I'm going to do one more adjustment. But before that, notice that I am a little bit lifting the pinky side of my hand up a little bit, like the pinky finger, like a little bit of a rising up towards the ceiling to make sure that I widen the wrist and that the wrist is parallel to the ceiling and not like it's most usually is like the pinky side is lower to the floor. So that creates more space in the chest, space in the pits. And since I don't have a perfect sensation in my low back, I'm going to repeat this whole process again. So I'm going to bend my knees, put my feet on the floor, and then I'm going to lift my buttocks off the floor, bring my hands under my buttock, and release the buttocks towards my heel, bringing my fingertip on the two sides of my tailbone, widening there, and then releasing. That created a lot of space, that my skin went down towards my tailbone, and now when my butt is on the floor, I can feel much wider sensation in my sacrum. So space in the sacrum is a very important part of Iyengar Yoga. And in all posture, definitely also in Shavasana. So I'm going to repeat the whole process again. I'm first going to straighten my legs in Supta Badha, bring my head up, make sure that I am in the center, and then release the legs out to the side. And then very, very slowly, I release my head down in my palms, releasing my palms down. And then you can rest here between 2 minutes and 10 minutes. To come out of it, you bring your palms to the center of your chest, legs one at a time, bend, you roll to the side, and you come up to a sitting position. And then the next one. So again, 2 to 10 minutes of this. The next one, you can keep the same setup there. You can keep the same setup. But you're going to have another support for your thighs. We're going to do Supta Badha Konasana. So you can keep that setup, or you can take a bolster and have a higher setup. So whatever makes you happy. I'm going to do it on this setup, and we can do it later in another setup. So all of this we can do with a higher support. So this one is Supta Svastivasana. So you're going to sit in Svastivasana if it's comfortable for you. That means cross-legged. Notice there's the shin cross in the middle. And for me, this is a little bit taxing. What is it taxing on? My ankle. So bring the outside of the ankle up. Also, my thighs cannot release, and you really want to bring the femur bones down to the floor so that you don't get. So I'm going to fold the blanket. You need to have some support. I'm going to support myself with that. Then again, the same action of opening the chest before you're going down. Into Supta Svastivasana. You see, I can feel a lot of work, a lot of stretch here in my leg pits. You can put your hands out to the side also to bring more action into the armpits. More not action, but space. You can measure the time. 2 minutes. And then you change the crossing of the legs. If anything disturbs, you can again maybe put something under your butt, under the table. It's fast. And the next one, you can change, if you can change the feet easily, do. Some people might need blocks under their thighs. This feels really good. If that doesn't work for you, just do Supta straight legs. Skip anything that doesn't work for you. Again, with your shoulder blades down. Release your eyes, your jaw, your tongue. To come out of that, get yourself out of that, bring your feet together, roll to the side and come out. So again, this can take an hour or 2 hours to do the whole sequence. I'm just showing the poses quickly. The next one is Cross-bolster, Supta Badha Konasana. So this is again the same setup, which is very nice. This time I'm going to show it with blocks, supporting, not the blanket. You can choose either the blanket or the blocks to support you. It is so again, I'm not sitting on the support, I'm sitting about 2 inches away from the support, feet together, pressing the heels towards each other. And you see my knees are quite high. You imagine a line like a paintbrush from your pubic bone into the inner knee. Notice that you don't press one foot more to the other. The one that the heel presses more is the one that the knee is going down. So actually I am encouraging the other knee, the other heel to press into this heel so that there is evenness. And then again, tuck the tailbone to get some length. I'm even pressing my feet into the mat and forward in order to lengthen through my tailbone. And then I come down and I decide how much support I need under my knees. It can be here, it can be here, whatever you need that will make you feel comfortable. It requires some futzing, not too much stretch. But again, you can see how much length do I get in my internal organs. If I need to, again, I lift my tailbone a little bit and I create some length as much as I can so there is space here. Then also in the arms, pressing the triceps down, opening the chest. Releasing my arms out. That feels actually very, very nice. When I feel too much stretch, I just get a little higher here. Come out of this pose, bring your hands on below your outer thigh and help your knees come together. Then roll to the side. And we're going to come to the next pose here. Cross-bolsters. So cross-bolsters is one of the main poses in many medicinal sequences of Iyengar. So you can do it with bolsters, but I'm going to do this now with blankets. Okay, so as they said, it looks like a cross. So let me just arrange it. So I'm going to open the blanket a little bit bigger. Let me get rid of all these first. I will only need 2 blankets for the simplest, maybe 3. Not necessarily. Maybe 3, maybe not. Okay. So I'm going to fold this blanket one time along the long side. Okay, so that's one. Another blanket I'm going to fold it once the other way. So I have here a blanket that across, and I'm going to lie down over that. This is going to be where my chest is going to be. This is where my head is going to be. Now I might want a blanket for my head. So the back of my head. So this is the simplest in the okay. So I have something smooth for the back of my head. All right, so that's the arrangement. And you can put higher blanket on the bottom. So I can decide that this is too low for me and I want 2 blankets. But you can start, and even a bolster, because I have an option with a bolster, actually 2 bolsters. But this is like if you want a smaller amount of height. All right, so we have that cross bolsters, not in the middle, but towards the end. And I'm going to sit on the long blanket. Again, the same way like in Tadasana, opening the chest. And then I'm going to tuck a little bit to create some length here. And I'm going to aim so that the back of my head is on the floor or on your lying down blanket. My shoulders are falling off the top of that long blanket, and my arms are to the side. So I start with my shoulders not on the floor. My shoulders are not on the floor. The blanket, the edge of the blanket is kind of maybe, depending of course on the size, on the height of this contraption. But it is a shoulder blade area, definitely shoulder blade area. My arms are out to the side and I'm supported by this bolster on my rib cage. And it has a bent leg version, which is this, which is still opening all the abdominal organs in my lower abdomen. But I can also stretch one leg, press the heel into the floor, and stretch the other leg. And I'm very aware about my lower back. I'm trying to bring my lower back to a position of comfort. If this hurts or tingles or does anything to your lower back that is not what you want, then you are going to bend your knees. You can also stay with one knee bent, one knee straight. So, but overall, just take care of your comfort. Mainly, that's the main thing. So this is the one version of cross bolsters. When you start with this form, which is called Viparita Dandasana on cross bolsters. And when you are ready, after a few minutes, you move to this version in which the shoulders are on the floor. So shoulders are on the floor. You can bring the cross blanket also. You don't want to go too far. You really want to open the chest. So if you went too far, so you're basically grazing with your shoulders the floor but not kind of collapsing the chest. You want the chest to lift and to create a lot of space in the front, in the organs, in the lower abdomen. And you could decide if you want a wide for the width here, or more narrow, whatever makes you happy. As long as it is not, this is not a resting pose actually. It's a lot of work. I can feel my work in my arms to bring opening in the chest. Relax your tongue, your jaw, your palm, your mouth. To come out, you bend the knees, roll to the side, and come up. If you have any kind of low back pain, add something right under the sacrum or right below the sit bones so that you make sure that you have length in the lower back, and keep your knees bent, feet on the floor. So this is the two poses from the Cross-bolster series. The next one is Salamba Purvottanasana, which is which is a stretch of the east. I also have it. There are many versions of these two, of this one too, and there are many heights. I showed it with two chairs, and I'll show that again. You don't need any special chairs for this. You just need just house chairs, one near each other. I need a little bit more space here to do the variations. Since I already have that one, you can use blankets or you can use bolsters. Every bolster that you use, you can just use a bunch of blankets instead, like folded. But you see that the edge of the bolster is aligned with the edge of the chair, and you get another bolster and support it with something so that it will have a here. Use that one. That's good. So that's where my butt is gonna go. I'm gonna take that blanket away. You can roll a nice blanket for under your chest. Blanket for under the chest, and then blanket for under your head. And you don't need the blanket under the chest, it's not absolutely necessary, but it's useful. So I have like something to support right in the middle of my chest, where the shoulder blade is, more towards the lower part of the shoulder blade, and I have something to support my head and something to support my lower back. So I hold, lift my chest, tuck the tailbone a little bit and go back. So, well, obviously I overestimated the length of my, so I want this rolled blanket to be under my shoulder blade, and bend the head down. I can bring my elbows together, and this is, you can press your feet into the floor, lengthen through your sacrum, and then release down. You imagine the frontal hip points, these front of the pelvis, coming towards each other to create a lot of length and wideness in the front of the sacrum. And then you're going to, again, gingerly take your feet a little bit forward so that the knees are still bent, and then push the feet down into the floor and away from you in order to create a lot of length in the front of the body. And again, notice very, very well, be very aware about whether you have any kind of sensation of stress in the lower back. That's the only caveat here. It is a wonderful pose. Look at the extension of the hips and how much length and width I get in the organic body. You can straight out through your arms, that will increase the length. Palms face each other. Again, external rotation in the upper arm, release the head. Or again, you can grab your elbows and put your forearm on your forehead if you have any shoulder issue. Bend one leg, put the foot on the floor, press it. If you have any kind of low back pain, or bend both legs. This creates a lot of pressure. You know, you can really adjust how much length you get in the sacrum. You get much less see how I slowly bring my feet forward, and then I stretch them together, and I direct that energy right into my chest. The more bent the knees are, the more you can press and have less of a feeling that there is a torque pulling your sacrum, or your tailbone, arching your low back, you know, creating a forward tilt in the pelvis. So you want really a lot of space in the sacrum, and I'm all the time imagining the frontal hip points going towards each other, the iliums, front of the iliums towards each other, really lengthening my sacrum. It is a wonderful pose. You have to get used to it though. To come out of it, I kind of bend one knee, bend the other, press my hands into my support, and from my chest, I lift up. Whew, that was a nice one. So the next one is Samashrari Dandasana, in which you need a chair and a wall. So I will put that here. Chair against the wall. Put that right here. Chair against the wall. Some support for the bolster. I put another bolster here. Another bolster here. And then a tall bolster in front of it. Good. And then in front of that, we put a blanket or as much height as you need to sit on this contraption, and you need 2 blocks for your hand behind you. All right, so that's the contraption. Something to support the bolster. I put another bolster, and then I'm going to sit on the support, stretch my legs forward. My hands are on the block, opening the chest. Dandasana. If something in the knees is disturbing you, you can put something under your, not the knees, but under your calves. So, that's how much you need. Widen the balls of the feet. You want actually the pelvis to come forward. Maybe I need some support behind the top of the bolster. That's okay. So we'll put some support here between the wall and the bolster so that I'm not going to fall backwards. Then I need these 2 blocks. You need something to support the bolster so that it's not going to disappear on you. Okay. You really want the sacrum. You want to sit in the front of the sit bone. Wow, that's nice. Okay, open the chest. Yeah, now I get some support with the bolster. Widen the balls of the feet. Energy goes towards the heels. Frontal hip points go towards each other. Release the thigh bone down towards the hamstring. And bring the femurs away from each other. Open the collarbones. Come out of that. Go to the side. And come out of that. The next one we are going to do is Setubandha on bolsters. So we did already Setubandha on cross-bolsters. Now we're going to do Setubandha on a bolster. Actually, we're not going to do any Setubandha. The last pose we're going to do is Viparita Karani with legs bent. So I'm going to show you that one. chairs. Before we're going to do Viparita Karani with the chair, I'm going to show Setubandha on a bolster. So again, you can use several blankets instead of a bolster. And then I put 2 blocks near the wall. So it will have to be something that I measure. Something that I measure. Maybe the 2 blocks right in the center. So I could put again the blanket for my shoulders. So this will require some adjustments. How close to the wall is your bolster? I kind of know my length. So you're going to sit, there are 2 blocks on the wall on the highest part. I have quite a fat bolster, or maybe it would be 3 or 4 blankets bent. Again, I'm going to open my chest, and I'm aiming for my feet to be on the wall on top of these blocks and my shoulders on the floor when I straighten my legs. Oh, that's nice. And then I'm going to take one. Oh, I put it too close to the wall. You see, I can't straighten my leg. So assume I'm smaller than what I am. Once you've done it several times, you will get the gist of it. Okay, here we go again. You really want to be close to the bolster. Again, you don't want to be like that so that your chest is closed. You want to be as close to the bolster, as close to the bolster. So start with your shoulders not on the floor, and then really slide your rib cage, your shoulder blades around the edge of the bolster until your shoulders are just grazing, opening the chest. The more you can open the chest here, the more relaxation your neck can have. And then you straighten out one leg, straighten out the other leg, and feel how your back is feeling here. Neck. Setubandha, bridge pose with legs straight. Again, if the legs straight doesn't work for you, you bend the knees or you bend one knee. So you can also do a version in which your legs are wide. to come out of this pose. You bend your knees and you come out of the bolster. Slide yourself away, knees to chest, roll to side, if you have space. If not, just roll to the side. Last one in the sequence is Viparita Karani with legs bent. Again, the sequence can be shortened. Any pose that doesn't appeal to you, just don't do it. And I'm going to prepare that chair. So the chair doesn't have to have a wall. I put a mat, folded mat on the chair. I need something again for the back of my head. These are all Setubandha and this Viparita Karani with legs bent. All of these poses are a version of shoulder stand. So they are in the family of shoulder stand. So I put one blanket to support the back of my head. Then I have one blanket folded again. Fold it again. So that's normal Mexican blanket fold. I fold it again and I put it about 1 foot away from the chair. The neat edge, the folded edge, towards the edge of the mat, away from the chair. And I'm doing it to another blanket. So the two folded blanket. And now it's the adjustments. Actually, if you have a chair that doesn't have a back, it would be nice to turn the chair so that the backrest of the chair faces you. And now I'm sitting on the top of the blankets at the edge closer to the chair, and then I'm going to bring my calves onto the seat of the chair, and this is also adjustable to your height. Make sure that the heels are on the chair, and then you're going to come down. Oh, the blanket is not under my head. Okay. Obviously, this pink blanket is useless to me. And I need another blanket under my head, otherwise the irritation from the floor on my back, the back of my head, won't let me relax. So I'm putting something to support the back of my head. Oh God, what have I done? Yeah, that would be possible here. Yeah, you can bring the blanket all the way to C7. Oh God, what do I have here? A mess. Okay. And you just let the thighs release down into your abdomen. You might adjust a little bit before you're relaxing. Like I, for example, really want the chair to be a little closer to me. Yeah. Oh, that feels good. Yeah. Open the chest. From time to time, press your triceps into the floor. Roll your shoulders. Top of the shoulders towards the floor. Open the chest. So There is this flow from the legs to the pelvis, from the pelvis rolling very gently to the chest. Stay here as long as you want. And you can bend your knees. Roll to the side. And that is the sequence.